Yo, what's good, guys? VENM here, back with a video, and today we're going to be talking about some of the Madden 23 gameplay differences and some strategy I think you guys should start to implement once that game comes out. I'm going to talk about some of my favorite ways to run schemes gameplay-wise as well as strategy-wise, things like Ultimate Team that I noticed when playing the Madden 23 Ultimate Team in the beta, and some of the players that are going to be better than most. So we're going to start out with some of the gameplay things, and just in the background here what I'm going to be doing is running some of these rookie premier sets because I need to complete some of those. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing in the background here while talking. But yeah, going back to our point, we're going to start out with some of the gameplay things and then go into things like lineup differences and kind of some of the strategy players that play best, and you'll understand once we get going. But starting out with gameplay wise, I actually think, and we're going to start out offensively, and this is kind of a thing that works offensively and defensively, but I think spread out schemes are going to be a little bit better this year. So spread out schemes are going to be things like trips tight end. They're going to be, and did these cards go up in value? I swear they did not cost this much. Maybe they did. But yeah, going back to my point, spread out schemes are going to work a little bit better than your, yeah, because it shouldn't cost me 600k. I swear these are like 30k. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe we're gonna be doing some solos to get these guys because I did not think they costed that much. But yeah, so things like trips tight end I think are better than bunch. Now, you will still see a lot of guys run bunch. That's not to say that bunch is not a good formation or bunch tight end aren't good formations, but I had more success in spread. It's going to be difficult to see the field this year. It's a little bit more difficult to see the field in my eyes. That's just how I read it. So you want to kind of make things easier on yourself and not have multiple guys in the same area. It's a lot easier to see the field when you have spread formations, guys in different spots. So that can be formations like gun doubles. Again, trips tight end is definitely probably the best out of those spread formations, but gun spreads will work. Even 5 wide is pretty good. Obviously you're gonna get blitz, so it's not really a competitive formation, but anything like gun wide trips is pretty good. Kind of the formations to stay away are going to be your gun tight offsets of the world, gun tight slots, halfback weaks. Those are just not as good. You can just run man press. You have everybody in the same area. It's super difficult to get anybody open in that scenario. Tight offset tight end, kind of the same thing. And then you have things like bunch tight end, which are super compressed. Bunch is going to be, of course, a little bit better because you can spread it out differently, but you still, at the end of the day, you have 3 receivers and your running back just very close together. So it is a compressed formation, as we know. But there's ways to manipulate the bunch to make it a little bit better, and that's why bunch will still be used. I'll probably still be making a video on bunch the first day of the game just because it's going to be popular even if it isn't good. Just because it's bunch, a lot of people are comfortable in bunch, and most people, even before the meta develops or changes, so let's say this game's going to be a trips tight end meta. Before that develops, people will be running bunch because no meta is set in stone in the first day. So that's kind of why you'll see probably a lot of guys in bunch, even though I don't personally think it's the best. Now again, games do change. You'll see a scheme be good the first week, first month of the game, and then it won't be used the rest of the year. So things like that can happen, but I'm just talking about what I think personally and what I liked to do. Yeah, so overall that's kind of it for offense. I like spread schemes. Now, as far as running the ball, I do think running the ball is good, but you're going to have to be in shotgun. Under center schemes are not as viable just because I do think that they got the blocking down a little bit better throughout some of the updates in the beta, but it is still not perfect. And being under center, we all just know what happens. You get blitzed. They run pressed man-to-man coverage. They bring a lot of guys in the box, 6, 7 guys, press man-to-man coverage, so they stop your run. And then, of course, they blitz you to where you have press man. Under center, it's difficult to get guys open. And then, of course, with your quarterback, you can't really run around as well. So that's kind of some of the things. So if you're running the ball, I like to do it out of offset shotgun sets. You can use things like a slot offset, although that's not as good of a formation just because, again, it's more compressed. So I'm just trying to see with these sets if it's smarter. I feel like it's probably smarter to do something like this. You get 2 of these. I might actually have some of these. 90, just straight up 90 overalls. We got Charles Haley. Oh yeah, we definitely got some. I'll just throw some of these guys in here. And just like that, we get some nice players. But yeah, so under center, kind of a no-go. And as far as the quarterback position goes, kind of what you'll want to do is, of course, get that mobile quarterback early in the year. Speed is going to be kind of everything across the board, so we're going to want speed on our football field. So you're going to want to have a mobile quarterback. Guys like Tom Brady will be decent because, again, some of the defensive players are slower also, so he's not going to be as terrible, but having a mobile quarterback, and you want to have a balance, get a guy like Josh Allen, someone who can run and is accurate. Kyler Murray will be decent, although his accuracy might not be as good, but actually, yeah. So if you're not able to get one of those guys who can kind of run and throw, I would just get someone with accuracy, because otherwise your quarterback will miss a lot of throws, and it's very frustrating when that happens in this year's game when you have someone open, because again, passing the ball is more difficult. So when you actually get someone open, you want to be able to hit the and not miss the ball. So pretty simple stuff to understand. Yeah, these sets are way better, I feel like, because the straight up number, like, I don't know why the rookie premieres went up so much in value, but these are a lot better value than paying 60,000. And I just did pay like 55,000 or 57,000, so I guess this one wasn't the best. But yeah, so let's talk about some of the other strategies on offense, or kind of cards you would like to use. I'm more of a power back guy myself this year. I like, you will see running backs break some tackles, and there's a lot of fall forward animations. There's also those tackle battle things where you kind of press A, and so if you're spamming A, you'll get a lot of stiff arms and broken tackles. So I do enjoy using power backs, guys like Derrick Henry, guys like Nick Chubb, Fournette's good, anybody that falls forward, Zeke, Jonathan Taylor. So all these kind of power guys are good. The speed guys are decent, and of course Saquon Barkley is one of those guys that falls forward as well, but more just straight up elusive backs. Joe Mixon's a guy who falls forward. Guys like McCaffrey, probably not as good, although he has a lot of strength, so he's going to be falling forward. But just your true speed backs. Speed, again, it matters a little bit more than last year, because they do run faster initially, but it's not going to be make or break, and you want to be able to get those fall forward animations for 2-3 yards, where you run the ball, you kind of only get 2 yards, and then your running back falls forward for double the amount of yardage, turns it into a 4 or 5 yard gain, which makes it so valuable. So I would recommend getting those guys. Again, the majority of the top running backs in the league are kind of good with their strength, so you guys actually should pretty much be fine as far as that's concerned, because again, a lot of those top running backs can really do it all. So this might actually be good value. 190 for 4. It's a little bit better value, but I don't know that I want to do it necessarily. Let's do it. So let's talk about receivers, offensive linemen. Offensive linemen, again, they're not going to be as important in the beginning of the year. Don't waste your coins on offensive linemen. Ultimate team wise, you can have a really good offensive line. The defense will still shed like normal, so I wouldn't put too much stress on that. And as far as your wide receiver core, speed's really going to be the most important thing. So guys like Devontae Adams are not going to be as good as John Ross. Simple. Now, the route running can be valuable for man coverage, but speed will do kind of the same thing, so you don't really need to worry about it. Now, let's talk a little bit about defense, what I kind of like defensively, what I'm thinking defensively. Now, some of the gameplay changes for defense are going to be with the user. You have a little bit more speed defensively with your user. The coverage is a little bit better as well. The zones do play a little bit truer or more true, and they will kind of stick to their assignments a little bit better than they did last year. And again, I'm referring to last year's Madden 22. So I do like some of those changes. Of course, you want to get speed, you want to get safeties at linebacker, just kind of some of the standard stuff. And also when you're doing it. I also like kind of spread defensive formations as well. I like to be able to spread the linebackers. You can stop the run pretty well from a lot of formations this year. The run's not super overpowered, and if you know how to shoot gaps pretty well, then you will be able to stop the run out of a lot of the formations. Now, dollar is kind of where things get a little bit limited because dollar is not going to be good to stop the run. But if you're in things like nickel 3-3-5, which is, spoiler alert, was my favorite formation, along with things like nickel normal, then you can stop the run decently and you have really good coverage behind it. 3-3-5 wide, I actually don't like it as much as normal 3-3-5 this year. So yeah, I like to have spread linebackers, be able to adjust. I was playing more of a coverage style, but also out of 3-3-5 you can blitz any formation that you can just send 5 people. So I would have my cornerback, slot corner on the right side. I would shift the linebackers to the left so that it creates almost a 3-3-5 wide look out of it. And that's why I like normal 3-3-5, because you can do that. And then I would just blitz that outside linebacker on the left, blitz the slot corner, hover, and then you have an easy blitz. So I'll show that as well once the game actually comes out. But again, just some pretty simple stuff. I mean, standard stuff. You can blitz out of that formation, and then coverage is really good. You can get home with a 3-man rush a lot of times. You can send a 4th guy if you need with the slot corner or with one of the linebackers, and then you have the potential to either double Mabel with an inside third. You can man up different players. You can cross man. You can bluff blitz a slot corner and cross man a linebacker onto a slot receiver. I love having those linebackers to cross man in 3-3-5, and it just makes the defense very versatile. So as far as personnel wise, I would just get fast guys. Catching interceptions is going to be a little bit better. Zone coverage should be not an issue, so you're not going to want to get like a slow zone coverage guy. I don't know who's a slower zone coverage guy. But you all know those guys in the beginning of the year who are really slower corners. Like Denzel Ward's going to be better than probably Jalen Ramsey just because of his speed alone. And those guys are going to be more valuable. Defensive linemen, again, get more speed. A lot of times the QBs, even the fast ones, can't outrun defensive linemen. So if you get a Micah Parsons, who is one of those pre-orders that you can pick, he's going to be a guy that's going to be really good. I know I'll be picking him since I'm a Cowboys fan, but any speedy guys off the edge, Randy Gregory's of the world, pretty fast guys. Any edge rusher with a lot of speed is going to be pretty valuable. Myles Garrett, TJ Watts, they're going to be good. So standard stuff on the defensive line, and then with your user, height and speed is going to be helpful. Oh, also height on the cornerbacks is very valuable. So if you're able to find those rare combinations of height and speed, take advantage of those on the auction house. They could be a 73 overall, but if they have 90 speed and they're 6'4", 6'5", they're going to be better than 5'10" cornerback with 99 zone coverage and 85 speed. So those guys are going to be valuable, but we already knew that. Same thing with the user. So again, safety's a user, get 90 speed guys. We all know, beginning of the year, tackle stats really don't matter as much, but just make sure that you don't get greedy, wrap up. You don't want to make, and again, it's easier to make people miss this year, so just be careful in the open field. But yeah, overall, it's going to do the video. Let me know what you want to see next. I'm going to be trying to pump out more videos as Madden 23 gets closer and closer, so let me know what you want to see next, and peace. I'm out of here.